after multiple decades of a feud between Madonna and Elton John, it looks like they have finally buried the hatchet, but I myself was not aware that they were beefing in the first place. Madonna, she hatched a plan to confront Elton John after all these years and finally settle this and ask for an apology. And this was during his recent appearance on SNL. She decided to show up in the audience and meet him backstage, to catch him outside or something.
Yeah.
This is like geriatric beef.
Well, yeah, I mean, it feels like an exercise in narcissism to imagine that it matters that long, that far down the road.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he's old and you're old. Just kind of go on with your lives.
You have bigger problems to worry about. But Madonna posted on Instagram this photo of her embracing Elton John, captioned, "We finally buried the hatchet. I went to see Elton John perform on SNL this weekend. I remembered when I was in high school, I snuck out of the house one night to see Elton perform live in Detroit. It was an unforgettable performance that helped me understand the transformative power of music. Seeing him perform when I was in high school changed the course of my life. I'd always felt like an outsider growing up, and watching him on stage helped me understand that it was okay to be different, to stand out, to take the road less traveled by. It was essential."
She was wrong. It's not okay to be different.
None of those things are okay. "Over the decades, it hurt me to know that someone I admired so much shared his dislike of me publicly as an artist. I didn't understand it. I was told Elton John was the musical guest on SNL, and I decided to go. I needed to go backstage and confront him. When I met him, the first thing out of his mouth was, 'Forgive me,' and the wall between us fell down.
Oh.
Forgiveness is a powerful tool. Within minutes, we were hugging. Then he told me he had written a song for me and he wanted to collaborate. It was like everything came full circle. And you can tell everybody, this is your song."
Sweet?
It'd be funny if he makes like a diss track about her.
It's just a diss track. It's just Gucci flip-flops. Yeah. So I don't understand why
Beef should not be. There should be time stamp. Like there should be like limits on beef.
Right. It should have a statute of limitations.
Especially pointless beef.
And this got me thinking, which is remarkable because rarely does that happen. I was just like, why would Elton John even dislike Madonna or talk shit about her anyway?
Why would he care?
And according to one person on Twitter, Elton had a lifelong jealousy of Madonna because she's skinny, talented, more successful, and culturally relevant.
Whoa!
He threw rocks at her entire career like a bitter queen because she outserved him at every turn.
Is she considered more successful than him?
These days?
I feel like they're on like the exact. I actually feel like they're on like the exact same plane of existence.
They're in the biopic asylum.
Yeah, like
people who are have biopics made about them.
Yeah, but the thing is like people actually want to make one about him. She has to make the one about her.
Yeah, she's forcing it.
Like, I can't think of them as, like, different levels of fame. They seem like the exact same level of fame.
Well, she loved having the opportunity to say that she was in high school while Elton John was already famous. Like, look, I'm so much younger than him. But
it's the only time she's going to be able to do that.
I went back into
Everybody
the timeline.
else who can do that about is dead.
I went and found the timeline of their feud.
Oh, really?
That started back in 2002.
2002.
And this was back when Madonna...
They were both old enough to know better.
Yes.
I do think that he is wrong. I believe you said that he insulted her James Bond theme.
This is what he said. This was back when Die Another Day came out, and Madonna made a kind of techno song for the movie.
I love that song. I don't care what, Elton John is wrong. He's objectively wrong about this.
He said, it's the worst Bond theme ever. It hasn't got a tune. They should have gone for somebody like Lulu or Shirley Bassey, and maybe I'm in that league. I don't think it's the best Madonna record, and I'm a big fan. So even when he said that it was the worst Bond theme, he still couched it and complimented her. But then it heated up in 2004 at the 2004 Q Awards. Part of his speech when he was accepting the Classic Songwriter Award was throwing shade at Madonna, who was nominated for Best Live Act. And he thought that was laughable that she was nominated for Best Live Act because he believed she was lip syncing.
Okay.
He said, Madonna, Best Live Act, F off. Since when has lip syncing been live? Anyone who lip syncs in public on stage when you pay £75 to see them should be shot. Thank you very much. He literally called for Madonna to be shot.
Not good.
Under the suspicion that she was lip syncing her songs.
The gays are
catty.
hyperbolic.
They're catty.
They are cat. That's true. They are catty.
They're always starting something. But as a musician, what is your take on lip syncing? Do you think it's so fraudulent that people should be called out for it?
So if you're lip syncing, right, you're not singing, that's poor form. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with backing tracks. Like, I don't have a problem if, like, you've got, like, if there's, like, harmonies and there's...
Well, isn't that used a lot for, like, for people that dance a lot when they're on stage, too, because it gives them...
Yeah,
like,
and to be honest with
breath.
you, Gen Z and millennials, they're not the people that are upset about that. That's very normal. I don't have a problem with playing to, like, we play to a click track, so our drummer's got the tempo, and then there's all kinds of tracks that are in there, so there's all kinds of programming, and there's a bunch of different stuff. So I think that's perfectly fine, just so long as the people that are on stage are doing their thing, right? So, like, I'm singing everything. I'm doing all the singing, all the screaming. There are backing tracks on like sometimes there's thicker guitars, sometimes there's other noises, sometimes there's harmonies and stuff like that. But just so long as everyone on stage is doing their thing as well, then to me it's fine. But if you look, man, as soon as Guns N' Roses could afford it, they brought out extra musicians. Like, there was only 5 people in Guns N' Roses, right? But when they did Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, when they had the money, they brought out backup singers, they brought out, other instruments, they brought out way more than just the 5 guys in the band. The band turned into a boatload of people. Computers and stuff like that make that kind of production quality that make that possible for small artists and for anybody, basically. And the goal is to entertain the people that spent money on a ticket. Again, you should be performing. You should be able to do your stuff. You have to be singing up there. But, like, if it's just like, well, we want it to sound better for the fans, I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah. But if you're fully pretending to sing,
that's bad news.
That's something you should get called out for, in your opinion? Because
Yeah.
some people would say that for pop stars especially, the dancing and the showmanship and the production quality of it all is sort of equally important, if not more important, than the live vocals aspect. Especially for someone like Taylor Swift, who is not known for her vocals primarily. She's known for her songwriting, her tour concept, and
she still gets up there.
The storytelling.
She still gets up there and plays guitar. She gets up there and plays piano. Like, and I'm buying that she sings, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe there are some backing tracks or whatever, but it still sounds like she's singing. It's not exactly like what's on the record. So there's some embellishments and stuff. So I don't have a problem with, like, at least the way that Taylor Swift performs it. So.
Okay. Well, following the lip syncing allegations, it kind of got worse at the 2012 Golden Globes when both Madonna and Elton John were nominated for Best Original Song. Madonna won over Elton John that year. And then later that year, Elton John declared Madonna's career over in an interview and accused her of mean girl behavior toward his friend Lady Gaga, who is also the godmother of his children. He said about Madonna at the time, "She's such a nightmare, and she looks like an effing fairground stripper." A fairground stripper. Only a gay man could come up with an insult like that.
I don't actually know what a fairground stripper is.
Do they have strippers at fairs?
That feels like antithetical to the fairground experience where you're supposed to bring kids.
I'm sure that he could have said lunchtime stripper, but fairground.
Lunchtime stripper would make more sense. Fairground stripper sounds like a call to CPS.
Yeah. And then he revisited their beef in his memoir back in 2019, saying, "I couldn't see why she was so ungracious and nasty. She claims to be a champion for women. It's just wrong. An established artist shouldn't kick down a younger artist at the start of their career." And then Madonna responded saying that she apologized for her treatment of Lady Gaga. But It goes even further than that, and now they've finally made amends, and they deserve each other because they're equally petty.
They can make a song
narcissistic.
Together. You know what they should do?
People.
They should remake like a ballad version of Die Another Day.
Together, a duet.
Together.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense, but they should do it anyway.
It's funny because in the 90s, before their beef started, they were doing things like that. They were taking pictures together, doing duets, performances together.
I will say that Die Another Day isn't as good as many of the other James Bond themes, but I don't hate it as much as Elton John seemed to hate it.
Yeah.
Very of its time.
Yeah, I his most recent hit was that like thing that he did with Dua Lipa, right?
I have no idea. Sounds about right. But I'm literally trying to think of like how I could classify one of them as above the other, but they feel like they're on the exact same plane of existence when it comes to fame.
And by the way, Dua Lipa is like totally a fake pop star. It seems like her whole career is a psyop.
Why?
She's pretty. That's it.
Plenty of people are pretty and they don't make it big.
I mean, there's not always a rhyme or reason.
Feels like just fake. I don't know. There's something about it.
Do you feel the same way about Doja Cat?
No, because Doja Cat actually has
Not
originality. Like, she actually has
Doja's funny, too.
a brand. And Dua Lipa just, to me, seems like a blank slate. Like, she could be whatever a record label wants her to be.
I feel like you answered your own question. That explains why she's who she is and why she's famous.
Well, then they haven't done a good job enough of giving her a unique brand because there's nothing to it.
Well, they were going to give her the Olivia Rodrigo brand, but abortion was taken, so they had to figure out something else.
That was spoken for.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.